Welcome back to yet another special edition of Around the Block, Crypto Hour. Today I have special guests once again, Roberto Caldana and Jasmin Wallace on the show. For those who haven't seen episode 1 and 2, don't panic. Pause the video if you'd like and go check out those episodes first. Roberto and Jasmin, welcome back. How are you two doing today?
I'm doing pretty good today. We're halfway through the week. We're seeing some exciting things, some drama, so things are getting a little juicy over here, and I can't wait to see what we have to talk about today.
Nice. Thank you, Marwan. Thank you, Jasmin. So, and never panic, Marwan. Like we never have panic in any situation. So just keep calm and keep up with the flow of orders. So let's do this.
Very good, very good. So I wanted to do a quick recap of last episode. So we spoke all about Luna. We discussed how it's a native token of the Terra blockchain. We talked about how it was intended originally to be pegged to the US dollar using UST, however, with no collateral backing, as it was considered an algorithmic stablecoin using triangular arbitrage to keep its stablecoin pegged as close to the dollar with a ratio of 1-to-1 as much as possible. Again, there were two ways that you can get your hands on Luna, either buying it on an exchange like Binance or Coinbase, or minting it. So basically burning Luna for UST or vice versa. However, this was a bit peculiar because of its inflationary nature. Its market cap kept increasing. People were literally burning through the coin to mint it. So very strange. Using Vector's technical analysis tools, you could clearly see how its network data wasn't consistent with the blockchain's infrastructure, especially its market cap, which literally kept increasing every time Luna was being minted. We also spoke about the interoperability, which is basically the ability for a crypto blockchain network to communicate and integrate with other blockchain networks. In the case of Luna's interoperability, it brought down the performance of other bigger blockchain networks, that of Bitcoin, that of Ethereum as well. We also covered how Binance's chief executive and founder stood against Luna completely. He took a stance against Luna, but actually changed his mind in recent days, and Luna has effectively launched, separating the Luna Classic, which was the failed crypto, to Luna A, or Luna 2.0, which is traded as Luna A on Binance, which they have actually posted a disclaimer on Binance's website stating that Terra 2.0 is a new token, and it may pose higher risk than normal. It may be subject to price volatility. That is, very obvious, straight to the point. As we know, crypto is more high risk, high reward than the traditional stock markets. And please ensure that you exercise all sufficient risk management. Do your own research in regards to Luna's fundamentals. Fully understand the project and its purpose prior to making any buying or selling decisions to trading tokens in general.
This is very important that you said. So always do your research, people, because this is very important. So to just don't buy on the bullish market just because everybody is doing the same. So you always should do your homework. This is very important.
And that's an excellent point, Roberto. So what advice, we're obviously not financial advisors, but from a trading perspective, from an education perspective, what should traders be doing prior to making purchasing decisions?
This is a good question because there are some traders that are, how can I say, they are with the schedules of the launchings, of the new launches of tokens. So this is a first point now, a first type of trading. But if you are already like trying to trade on some more constant pairs of crypto, you should always look up for the volume trading on these assets, because this is important. The volume that the traders are trading in the crypto pairs, because this is liquidity, and you always should look for liquid assets. So people that were trading Luna on that first bearish, how can I say, panic attack, yeah, maybe they
Bearish
got,
trend. Mm-hmm.
yes, the bearish trend. So there was a lack of liquidity on the market, and that maybe should have like people that got in a very bad situation, like without being able to close their its positions and something like this, you know. So always look for liquidity, because this is the most important thing to trade in any asset, not just crypto, but any asset. If you have like to push the emergency button, like you know, you always should do this on a liquid asset. Volume is very important. It's the most important thing.
Very, very good points that you've raised, Roberto. So basically, to reiterate, maybe looking for cryptocurrencies that are launching ICOs that will be released on the markets. Also, maybe analyzing its white paper to understand the purpose of the project, what they intend to do, how it provides real life value as well, which is very important. And as a tape reading expert yourself, you also brought your point of view on liquidity, right, and financial volume, which are really important to.
And this is something that important for you to bring this off tape reading, because when we like analyze any asset through tape reading, we are looking for orders. We are looking for market orders or limit orders on the book. So this is something that you always should be aware that when you see a candle on the chart, this candle was formed because it was like the force of the market orders, you know, like the aggressions on the times and trades, like for example, and the limit orders on the book. So this is the everyday fight of the market. So the executions of business, you know, like the aggressions, the market orders and the limit orders, and this is what makes the market flow. So when you see like new assets, like in the not in, like in the episode of ICO, but like now Luna 2, for example, we are seeing like a new asset, but we always should be aware when we are trading this kind of asset for the volume trading that is trading, because you can see like some big orders being executed at the market, like selling orders that can do like very big movements of volatility on a few seconds, you know. So this is very important, because especially if you trade like futures and these kind of things, because you should like how can I say, we say in Portuguese, but you should double your attention on the management of your risk, you know. If you are trading assets that don't have like a constant liquidity, a constant volume, you should really be aware to manage your risk very carefully. Even you should always be careful with this, but especially in these kind of situations, you know. There is opportunities, of course, there will be opportunities, but you should be always secure positions before doing anything, you know. Be aware.
Perfect. That's perfect. So just to reiterate, the market players, right? You have the ebb and flow of both the buyers and the sellers and the aggressors of the market. And basically, the more liquid it is, the better it is, probably the healthier the asset is to trade on the market, especially for day traders and active traders.
The like, how can I say, the ecosystem of business, of doing business, if you were like seeing like the trading in a real situation, like for an example, so it's a healthy system, you know. When you don't have liquidity, you don't have like a very healthy system going on, you know.
Yeah, it's a bit strange when you see, big institutional players pump and dump money into the markets, right? And then you have less active day traders, right, raising a bit of red flags as there are less market participants, uh, participating actively in the market, which may raise some flags. Absolutely, great points there, Roberto.
Yeah.
Luna's Terra's website confirmed also as they were launching at 2.0. Genesis, they were going to supply 1 billion tokens allocated according to the following distribution. And according to many sources, their airdrops really didn't go according to plan. So the allocation U tokens were off to begin with, which definitely was a bit concerning for people who were part of the Luna Classic, the first project. According to their site, we also see a few other warning signs. So they talk about risks related to staking, bonding, unbonding, keeping money locked for a minimum of 21 days, which, okay, it makes sense in terms of staking. But it may have actually been problematic under Terra Classic. The role of delegators and validators, and how there have been instances of slashing them out due to issues of double signing, right? Which should never take place, which again could have troubled their previous blockchain network. Validators and delegators still receive inflationary rewards and gas fees. Okay. Again, more concerning considering our previous discussions about no collateral backing to support any form of inflationary gifting, right? So again, here we don't provide any financial advice, but in my professional opinion, the signs that trouble Luna Classic haven't really went away. What are your thoughts on this, Jasmin?
No, I definitely agree with risk management and doing your research. With everything going on, there's still a lot of drama surrounding the token and the creator, Do Kwon. Um, we have South Korean officials pursuing Do Kwon on two major factors. So the first being the fact that there are 5 investors bringing charges against Terraform Labs for the design and issuance of Luna not being properly informed about the flaws and the unlimited expansion, like you said, the increasing market cap um, that amounted to eventually defrauding investors, right? And then on top of that, they're facing reportedly a fine of 100 billion won, or $78 million, for evading corporate and income tax payments. So it looks like he moved the headquarters out of Singapore, but never actually filed the documentation to do so. So he thought he was being really smart there, but didn't fully plan everything out. And with that being said, it does look more like a gambler's dream. And, we can have high hopes that this revival plan will work. The airdrops will continue to roll out and hopefully be better every time. But in terms of trading, I do have a lot of reservations, and I would hold back and stick to, the larger playing coins that we see every day that are backed by liquid assets.
Absolutely. Great points. So very troubling. I didn't know about this documentation issue. So he didn't file taxes. Is that correct? Was that in South Korea?
Yeah, so he tried to basically evade the taxes by moving, the headquarters, but then didn't file the proper documentation to do so. So he moved the headquarters, but everything was still filed under the South Korean headquarters. So technically, he owes all of the taxes to South Korea and the government. And so they're pursuing him after this, especially after now, with everything going on, they're launching multiple investigations into Terraform Labs in general.
And
I found
I
it really.
just see now.
Oh, sorry. go ahead.
Sorry, just to complement, I just see now that you are talking about exactly like this. And the South Korea government, it's how can I say, looking at Terra crash, like to check for signs of intentional price manipulation and other issues, like as you said. So yeah, I think we will see a lot of, how can I say, a lot of new episodes of drama. Yeah, a lot of news is still happening around this topic. I think it's not over yet.
It seems like some crypto experts are also saying, following the events with Luna, for us to really be cautious, and they're warning us that coins like Shiba Inu, Doge could also face the same fate as Luna, just due to the lack of real use cases and that FOMO being there and people looking now more into Shiba Inu as Luna was failing. We might see the same thing happen. So it's just another way of thinking. Okay, we need to be more cautious, especially as we trade consistently and constantly doing our own research, not just seeing the news out there. We always have to go in, read about it, and see what the market is really telling us.
Mm-hmm. Great points for both of you. Just wanted to comment as well. It just raises the importance of corporate governance. It raises the importance of international communities gathering together and introducing legislation, introducing regulation into their markets. I think we spoke earlier about the Fed. Maybe you can give us an update about that.
Yeah. We have a lot of things happening with the Fed. They've announced that as of June and July, it will go up by 50 basis points each month. So we're really seeing that they're also pushing into closing on the idea of a digital dollar. Circle, owner of USDC, has said to step off their toes and is, telling them to back up. They are taking course with the stable coins and they want to remain that way. They want to be the leading, stable coin there. And I think that, we have our reservations on making stablecoins not decentralized, so actually regulating them. But Kevin O'Leary, he recently spoke about an issue he had with the bank. The bank lost his money for over 12 hours, and he made a joke saying, well, have they heard of USDC? So he pushes, and he is a supporter for stablecoins to become regulated. And I'd love to hear what people's thoughts are. So leave your comments, your thoughts in the comments below so we can kind of get more opinions on this. But the Stablecoin Trust Act, it will regulate which assets can be backed by their USD-pegged stablecoins, which would be cash, where interest rates will be incredibly low, and treasury bills, where interest rates aren't much better. This will pose a major problem for both current stablecoin users and future players. So they won't be able to earn as high interest when staking from those riskier assets.
Excellent points. Excellent points. Thank you so much, Jasmin. Wanted to also touch on the topic of what's going on in China. So we actually have the introduction of the digital yuan. And apparently China is going to gift out 90 million of this digital yuan via lottery to sort of push the reset button on their economy because of COVID and because of its implications. But they're going to focus on 3 regions only in China, which is Shenzhen, Guangzhou, and Shenyang, which is a new area reportedly gifting this large amount. I mean, I would love to see the Fed do the same. Do you think the United States would ever pull something like that off and give some money to charity to the people?
Oh man, yeah. I think that's really going to be up to us as the people. And, with everything happening, I definitely think there's going to be the space for new created millionaires where they maybe didn't have that opportunity before. We're going to have many people that are going to be self-made millionaires off of crypto and their assets. So it's going to be up to the people, I think, just like we're helping Ukraine. It's going to be something that we have to initiate and push the government to do, but I don't think they would do it just from their kind heart.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned Ukraine. Are you referring to the fact that basically they've been given a sort of a lifeline because of all the influx of cryptocurrency donations and philanthropy to sort of help them with the war?
Yeah, and so this is really important because it really goes to show how crypto and cryptocurrency can act fast. It can be something that creates lifelines for countries that need it. And we see more and more countries and places really looking into it and saying, hey, we want to be part of this movement because we're seeing how it's helpful, how it's doing things for other places. So Bitcoin by Bitcoin, digital entrepreneurs raising millions of dollars for Ukraine so that they can purchase vital military equipment. Imagine trying to send that by bank, ACH transaction when they don't have much room for those banks to be open. They don't have power. So you're maybe having a few minutes, a few seconds on the grid to accept these payments, put those payments out, to order those supplies. This is incredible. The fact that it can happen within 30 minutes or less, and it doesn't get lost like the bank did to Kevin Leary, for 12 plus hours. Imagine that happening. So this is really where we see fluctuations in the market coming in, big players helping and making those donations, again, out of their kind hearts. The frantic early days of the invasion, this is where they really depended on the speedy procurement of money, and crypto did that for them.
And I was searching for news about this, and I saw an article from The Economist that said that Ukraine were already like a crypto-friendly country. So in 2021, the country was ranked the 4th in the world for crypto adoption. So according to the index created by Chainalysis data firm. But so this is nice because the country already had like this kind of infrastructure to be able to receive this kind of aid before the war, So this is important.
It's very interesting, actually. Never really thought of Ukraine being a top leader in the crypto space. But again, the more we live, the more we learn. Now, do you find that maybe crypto may play a bigger role in sort of geopolitical decisions in the future, like it's influencing this war from one side supporting Ukraine, right? And then we see the other side. We see Russians trying to use cryptocurrency possibly to send money elsewhere, right? To send money abroad.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think that it's going to lighten up, and there's always going to be that situation where we're all going to be fighting a different battle. And so right now, I think the bigger players in cryptocurrency are standing with Ukraine and actually even blocking still more accounts from any Russian government officials and their families. Kind of like a, hey, if you don't stand down, we're not going to support you, and we're not going to allow you to use what we're using to help fund the other side. It's kind of like, we can't play Alaska here. We are standing with Ukraine, and I think that's kind of just the power move.
Definitely a power move. And then we see other large countries, part of BRIC, come around the corner. India is actually working on its own consultation paper to legislate crypto. They haven't really finalized anything, nothing's set in stone. But looks like they will be working with the IMF and the World Bank, speaking to other government officials to sort of create this ecosystem in India. In doing so, that's going to put them right back up as a leader because of the sheer population of the country and its potential, right? You have some large Indian institutions that are even big in China that are growing drastically, and even in North America. So it'd be interesting to see what the next step is going to be there. But we are also speaking about some tax havens.
But Marwan, I think there's something important to say about war and crypto, okay? And this is something like, it's kind of logic, but it's always important to repeat, because we can see through the history that the history repeats itself in some kind of way. Yeah. So one point that we always see in war periods, like a lot of technology improvements. So we can talk about like Second War, for example, that we saw a lot of different kinds of new technologies that were disruptive, and we use until this day, like microwave and these kind of things, like nuclear weapons that were like being developed in that time. So we have like this kind of boost on technology in these war periods. And now I think we are having, because we are talking from the how can I say, the Occident side, yeah. maybe the first incident that we are seeing in a closer way, you know. So I think we will see a boost on some kind of technology and some kind of improvements for crypto in a very short period, you know, like the implementation, a quick implementation of smart contracts, more like applications to crypto. I think we will see a boost in this kind of technological advance, you know, and something like it would be like for 10 years. Maybe now we will see in maybe 5, 3. So I think some things will be like put on first hand, you know.
I completely agree with that. I would say that the digital revolution has already started, and like you said, the war is kind of pushing us more in that direction even more. And although the markets are all crashing or seem like they're not performing well, again, this is opening the door for more people to join the market where people couldn't join anymore or thought they couldn't. If crypto crashes, we see experts saying 99% of crypto will go to zero and it will crash. Okay, so be it. It might suck for a minute, but if you are holding and you're knowledgeable in what you're doing and how you're trading, then it's going to be a great thing. We're going to see new people come into this age, and hopefully you're not somebody who's going to miss out on jumping onto the train, because once the digital age and the revolution really hits, it's not going to stop. It's going to take over, and we're going to see major implementations of crypto everywhere and more digital and technology advancements coming. That's for sure.
It's a really good point.
And if we like see through this perspective, you know, like Bitcoin's now like $30,000, and we saw like a peak on this year of almost like $70,000. So if we see through this perspective, what should be like the highest high, you know? Because there are, I think this event of this war, particular war, will open like it's not the right term, but a Pandora box for new technology, but it is not in a bad way, but in a normal way, in a neutral way, because we will see a very we will see a boost on the technological implementations of crypto, of the blockchain. So I think who knows, maybe could go to zero. Maybe we are seeing like a good opportunity to buy Bitcoin like cheap, like $30,000, because maybe like in 10 years, 5 years or 3 years from now, we will see like a lot of people using more blockchain, more smart contracts. So I think we are seeing like as an disruptive event for the crypto on general, you know.
I think that this is a great point to touch on something that I'm pretty passionate about, and I work closely with here at Nelogica and Vector, is options trading, because a lot of the times we see that people see the bear market and they get scared, they stop trading, or they want to pull everything out, but you can still make money. You can still do things when there's a bear market, and it's just the fact of looking into your other options trading, futures, derivatives, staking, holdings, and really doing your research so that you can still make money during the lows and still maximize your gains. So if you haven't already looked into options trading, it's definitely a good time to start, and maybe start seeing you can make money at any point in time.
That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. Wanted to touch on one other point here that might be interesting to mention. The fact that there are so many unbanked people around the world. I believe the stats last time I checked was around 2.4, 2.5 billion people on the planet that are unbanked, right? But how many people have cell phones, right? So people using mobile technology, their cell phones, as an alternative, using digital banks, using digital assets, using cryptocurrency trading to combat inflationary pressures of their currencies, like we saw in El Salvador, for example. I think this is, like you guys mentioned, is going to change the markets globally. If we do see a crash in Bitcoin, this may be good for everyone to partake into the market, begin to invest slowly, right? You may see the rise of digital banks form. We may see micro investments, little investments here and there as a strategy. You might see financial advisors start to be certified in crypto in the future. I've seen a few articles about that recently, especially in the United States, right? More and more people are interested. And like we've talked about on a few occasions, Roberto, especially on Reddit, we have some big groups like the GameStop revolution that we saw. Doesn't matter what age you are, whether you're an old retired veteran or you're a young enthusiastic gamer looking to get in and start making capital. There's definitely space for everyone for crypto.
And this is really important that as you said, because sometimes we see through like traditional markets, like financial markets in general, like option trading and futures trading and this kind of things, and the normal person like would see as a very shady thing, would be interested to get in, but would feel like, how can I say, when you feel that it's not for you, like imposed, no, maybe scared,
Mm-hmm.
like, no, this is for the big guys, no, this is just for the the white shirt with the, I forgot the name,
tie.
the tie, just for these guys. This is the special club, okay? But for crypto, I think we are talking in, we can start to talk in a different manner, like to try to talk to these guys, to this public, like to the gamer, to the chef, to the cooking chef, to the employee of some, how can I say, hardworking, I don't know the name, but from a barman and these kind of things. We have like the crypto in general. We have the opportunity to talk to these guys that they were like, it's not the right word to say, but they were marginalized, as not a potential investor for your big bank. Oh, you can't open an account on my bank because you are, who are you? So I think we will see more and more people, more normal people that will be welcome to the crypto market, because there are space for these guys, for the, how we can say,
The
like,
general public, I would say.
yeah, for the alternative non-conventional guys, public in general.
Yeah, I like your comparison there. So you're describing like a white collar, someone who works in the stock market, for example, comparing them to like a blue collar average Joe kind of guy working in construction, working in a restaurant, that sort of thing. The space is open for them to begin investing in crypto because crypto doesn't discriminate against, how much money you have at the moment, right? It's how much money you're willing to invest at any given time, right? So it's a completely different mindset. It's a completely different game. Also want to talk about the GameStop NFT revolution. So do you recall what happened with GameStop, Jasmin,
Sure.
a while back?
Yeah, it was definitely something I don't think I was expecting. I feel like GameStop was dying down and you would still see people lining up outside for the new games, but that's the only time I would hear about them. And now they're kind of becoming a more talked about standpoint here. So
I was like on Reddit before
Mm-hmm.
the event, so I was like, I was not part of the Wall Street Bets, but I was always looking for this subreddit, because it is really funny. It was really 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 funny. I love it. I still love, and it was like just a few guys, just like 300,000 guys I say guys in general, but okay.
People.
And from one day to another was like 6 million people, so 6 million persons on the group. And it was crazy because I saw the first movements, and it was like unbelievable what was happening, And if you saw the first topics about the guy, that I forgot his name was, he had like a really funny username. But if you saw his videos before this event, the guy was like, it was a completely nerd, but with a really good and how can I say, really strong thesis about the company. And he did a really good research about this, and made probably better than the research that the hedge funds analysts did, because he was right. And it was really intense. This episode was insane for me. It was something amazing.
I definitely recall this time of the year. I think it was like just over a year and a half ago, probably, right? Maybe a bit more.
Yeah.
But they made a huge stance on the market, and they really showed up Wall Street with this group. So basically, they built their community and just stuck it to the man. So very interesting to see what they've done. And now GameStop has actually expanded and are in the NFT space. Am I correct?
I didn't see.
Okay. I mean, every day we see more and more companies, players, large players really joining the NFT movement. Um, and a few companies to name. Prada, they're releasing a new Cactus Hearst 10 capsule. And with that, you'll get a free airdropped NFT to go along with physical merch purchases from Prada's latest collection. So, that's a name that we probably never thought we'd see in the crypto field or NFTs. And we actually see NFL, producers, eBay, Pharrell. He just made a new platform for NFTs called Goda. It's crazy. And more people are joining every day.
I remember, I think it was like maybe 5 to 7 years ago. He had another website, and it was for artists. And this was before the sort of crypto revolution. He started a website, maybe it was before its time. It was called The Guild. He tried to make like a social media for artists, but like it didn't really go forward. But I think the timing is perfect now, taking advantage of this growing space. The NBA as well. I just want to highlight that the NBA is use their All-Star games to launch some crazy NFTs, basically showing reels and highlights of some of the best dunks. For example, some of them were being, I think LeBron James, one of his dunks was being bid for like close to 2 million USD or something like that. It's crazy. So yeah, there's definitely a market for it. And we see the other side growing. We see big brands, Wendy's, for example. I believe Nike, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, with
so
their
it's basically
$130,000 sneaker.
$130,000 sneaker.
Yeah, I think it sold. It was an NFT sneaker, and it sold for about $134,000.
$134,000, and I wonder who bought it. Was it Snoop Dogg, Justin Bieber?
I didn't see who bought it, but that would be nice to see. Who has that sneaker in there? Probably a glass case, I'm assuming, and probably not on their feet. They roll that way, but it'd be nice to see that.
Absolutely,
and there is another advantage, because you can like save space from your closet, so it's much better to have NFTs sneakers. It's genius. You don't have like to have big like space off to put your All-Star, because I have like 7 pairs of All-Star, and it's how can I say, it's how can I say? It took a lot of space from the closet. So NFT shoes much better.
You just store it digitally in a file. That's it.
Yeah,
You're
exactly. You
good.
can have 1,000 all stars. You know?
Start your collection now
Yeah.
while your computer can still handle the space.
Yes.
Very good. So this just in, Do Kwon may have just been caught laundering money through Terraform Labs into a Korean shell company called Kernel Labs. My goodness. I
Yeah.
guess a lot of people didn't see that coming.
But bro, I think this kind of news will emerge much more quick soon, because now is the time that people are like hawks on top of the guy and the whole situation. And that's why we can like return to the first topic, like to the people like get inside Luna 2 to start trading and these kind of things. Be aware, be careful, because each kind of like just a little fake news or a real news can like make a huge movement on the market. You can like see 10% down in 5 minutes, 20% up in 50 minutes. So be aware, because these kind of things, always remember you have a margin to report, to respect. Yeah, so this is something that you must be careful when you are trading in these kind of assets that don't have a lot of liquidity or a constant liquidity. Okay.
Right. It's a great time to use those OCO orders to, make sure you're setting your parameters if you've studied the chart and, seeing which trend they're in currently. Make sure that you're setting those parameters in a safe strategy.
Exactly. Yeah. Can I say? Very good point that you brought. The OCO orders are really something. They are amazing to manage your risk. Exactly on the point that you open the start the position. You enter in the position, you do the trade, and the OCO orders are amazing to do this.
Yeah, you can go to sleep like knowing that you're fine, which is the best part because, a lot of the times when you see more, traders, they're like glued to the screen all night, all day, watching it go down and up and down and up. I remember when we first started as more of a noob, using Robinhood and trying to get in, and then Robinhood being like, "Oh, sorry, our or our app's having technical difficulties right now." That completely eliminates the possibility of that happening. Your OCO order's there. If you have your parameters set, you go to sleep, you wake up, your order's executed or it didn't, however you set it, and you're good to go. You either made your profit or at least you broke even, you didn't lose anything.
Exactly. And you can put your if you're using Vector Pro, you can put inside the OCO orders your trading stop and auto break even strategies. That I think it's just on Vector Pro that you can put these strategies that are automatic stops. So these strategies are really really useful and functional. So I definitely would recommend using with OCO orders.
Absolutely. So OCO orders, also known as contingent orders, are an excellent way to basically manage your risk. You want to be able to minimize your losses and maximize your profits, or at least limit your losses. And the best way of doing it is using Vector Pro. Definitely, most definitely. Just wanted to also highlight, I don't know if we touched on this topic yet today, but Cardano's blockchain network, right? The spike of 25% also led to gains in other blockchain networks. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, they made an overall close to 5% increase in market capitalization over the last 2 business days.
Yeah, we've seen a kind of a pump in Cardano, ADA. They already have some great staking rewards, and with everything that's coming out, I think they surpassed and are now like the third or fourth biggest traded, largest traded crypto right now.
And I think today is the day that they put a new phase, a new, how can I say phase? Yeah, a new phase of its implementation plan. I think today. I need to search for this, but it was on June that they would put another. Uh, they would implement another phase of the project. I think it is today. I guess.
I believe you're right on the money. They were implementing a new level for their ecosystem, and I know that
Yeah.
other big crypto blockchain networks are also doing the same. Ethereum has been speaking about it for years, but I think they're almost there. They're just so big to just turn off the switch button and start from scratch using staking, right? So it is a time-consuming process. They have to get it right, so you don't have any issues with blocking people from doing trades or a total failure in the blockchain network itself, right? But this move is definitely going to be better for the environment. We're going to be seeing less CPU usage, which means less overall energy usage, better for the environment overall. So definitely some positive things happening in the crypto space. Also notice that two top crypto companies, so Ripple and let's see here, Ripple and FTX. Okay, yeah, they're on the hunt to acquire new companies, right? As the Bitcoin and overall cryptocurrency market has been affected recently. So interesting to see how mergers and acquisitions within the crypto space are starting to increase because of the decrease in the overall market capitalization of the crypto market. So we're seeing mergers between exchanges and cryptocurrency blockchain networks, which is interesting. Do you see that this might be a trend in the future? Some exchanges maybe partnering up with some platforms, some other smaller, more efficient networks teaming up with bigger leaders in the space?
I think that in this space, anything is possible, and that's what's really amazing about it. Is like you said, crypto and Web3, it doesn't diversify, it doesn't separate anyone. As long as you are passionate about it and you're in this space, again, possibilities are endless. We can all go to the moon. We can all be in this and grow. So, even if the company's really small, we see a lot of startups starting. I recently saw a company called Meow started up that's being backed by some really great financial players, even Gemini. Um, we have lots of companies joining the space, and the partnerships are endless. We see I Trust Capital, FTX sponsoring YouTubers and TikTokers every day. So the connections that we can make within the space, unstoppable.
And
Absolutely.
you guys think that big companies like traditional companies will be part of these kind of mergings and acquisitions?
Oh yeah, JP Morgan is already saying that they are really trying to become crypto friendly. They're wanting to join into the space and making crypto one of their biggest assets.
Absolutely. I think it's more about survival as a strategy. Survival as I'm going to coin that new term. Survival as a strategy. Basically, in order to compensate for potential losses because of the market share that they're losing to the crypto space, but also to diversify themselves, right? We're seeing a lot of ETFs. We've seen BlackRock, for example, go into the ETF crypto space as well as the biggest mutual fund holder in the world. So I believe that large companies, the ones that have a more of a vision for the future, with a very good corporate governance, with a good structure, good amount of assets on the books, be able to make these types of moves. It might not be right away, but we're definitely going to see this integration. And I think Ripple, for example, on the institutional side, shows you how some banks, like even in Canada, are going into the crypto space because of this.
Yeah, actually, Panama was already, the destination to visit, retire, to live, especially with some really great tax breaks and in terms of capital gains with crypto. But we see that their crypto adoption is stepping up the gears here. Tower Bank, it's a Panamanian financial institution that has over 200 employees, and they've been in business in the banking field for over 40 years, okay? One of the largest banks there. Has declared itself Bitcoin friendly, paving the way for new crypto accounts, and this is amazing. We see more and more banks doing that. I even saw that Cristobal Pereira, he quoted here, acá en Panamá, en hashtag Meetup con Tower Bank, y anuncian que son crypto friendly y pueden venir a abrir cuentas y depositar retiros desde exchanges sin miedo. Primer banco en Latam que públicamente anuncia esto. This is some really great stuff, especially for our traders here in Latin America, with Latam being a really big player. Amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shout outs to our partners in Mexico. We work with Bitso, so they're also expanding largely in North America and the rest of LATAM as well. So really glad to see that happening.
And I think Bitso it's getting into the Brazilian market really. It's not aggressive, but I think they are more present nowadays. So I think we can see much more like announced advertisements of Bitso nowadays. This called my attention from, I think, last week. We are seeing these movements of even into sports, like to traditional sports that you can see now exchanges like giving the sponsorship for it.
Absolutely. FIFA, right? Adopting crypto really, really rapidly in terms of putting up big banners, making official sponsorships with crypto companies as well. I wouldn't be surprised if the Finalissima, which is the big game between the CONMEBOL champion, Argentina, versus the Euro Cup winner, Italy, wouldn't be surprised if they had banners all over the pitch at the moment. Looks like Argentina's winning 2-0. So really sorry for the Italians who are watching this feed. I think that's it. Saran, because it's a wrap. So I wanted to thank you both for participating in today's Crypto Hour. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, activate notifications, and we'll see you again soon on the other side. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you, guys. To the moon.
To the moon.